hopeless of the hopeless. Control the game like the coaches. Stay dropping gems, we the winners, coach, you know this. Never coasting, always elevating, staying focused. When it's all said and done, we the winners, coach, yeah. We the winners, coach. It's all said and done.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of The Winners Culture, the podcast where we explore creatives and entrepreneurs' journey to success. I'm your host, It's Just JJ, and to my right.
Hey, y'all, it's Bondi.
And today we have a super special guest. The first time I ever seen her was online. She went viral like 5 times. So then I went to YouTube. And when I went to YouTube, I seen a 30-minute long poetry video. And I don't know if y'all know about poetry, but it's hard to remember things. I do poetry sometimes. It's hard to remember. She was going to the stage, going to the mic, reciting long poems, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Then going to her phone for 2 seconds, 30 seconds, coming back to the mic, another 4 or 5. I was like, who is this person? And then I seen her in a video with Bleacher Report and NBA on TNT with Fine Rose, who's been on this show before. We have none other than Miss Ciara Chantelle. How you doing today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for that. That was really dope.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. I'm really great.
No problem
Thank
at
you.
all. And so today, I feel like today is a special episode because it's a part 2.
Yeah, right. Of
You
course.
know, and we've been here before. And so we got a couple more things to discuss.
Yes.
And today I really would like to bring y'all into a conversation that we was having off camera a little bit. Just to see, you know, the feelings, the vibes about. So the first question is, what's your feelings on fans and supporters? Do you feel like you have fans or supporters?
I personally feel like I have supporters.
And why is that?
I feel like when you think about fans, you think about somebody. All right, this is bad because I want to say on a global scale. Although my
Definitely got fans on a global scale. I'm not going. How many followers you got on Instagram?
180 plus thousand
Oof.
followers. Yeah.
So continue, please.
Yeah. I think that so 12,000 of them were following me for a very long time, for about a 10-year period that I was doing the work. And then that a lot of the work started going viral, and that's where, everybody else around kind of like the world came through. But when I think of fans, I kind of think of people who are just kind of like on the sidelines, like, hey, like I see you doing your thing, and like I like that. When I think of supporters, I think of people who are just like, hey, I love what you're doing, and I want to support that, and I want to contribute in a way to ensure that you continue doing that. And I just I see more of those than I do the former. And I mean, I may have fans. And I'm sure I've had some people be like, yo, like I'm your greatest fan, but they can't tell me any of my pieces or like what they're about. They're like, yo, I like that sex one, or like, yo, I like that one. I'm like, I'm sure. But yeah, I think there's a little bit of a difference. I think especially like the messages that I get, they're very sentimental. They resonate, and they let me know that our experiences are like one and the same. And I just feel like when it's like that, it's like support. So it just kind of feels like soul tribe-ish or something like that. And I just see a difference. So I probably have both, but I think that I have a lot of supporters.
I see exactly what you're saying. Blondie, how you feel about having fans?
I don't personally. They make me a little uncomfortable, just because spotlight things tend to make me a little uncomfortable, quiet as it's kept, or even if it doesn't seem that way.
Because you're a star?
No.
Because you're beautiful.
No, stop. Thank you.
She blushing, y'all.
Blush. I know, right? Stop. I'm nervous. But yeah, I think both are great. Both fans and supporters are needed to keep most projects going. Personally, it does make me a little uncomfortable because I look at myself as, I don't know, just a background person. Yeah. So, but as I've gotten older and as I've put myself out there more through different projects and just networking and meeting different people, I do see the value in both. I don't know that I would go as far to classify each one, like if I don't have to, but much appreciated, much needed for sure. But they make me a little uncomfortable.
So I'm gonna tell y'all a story real quick, right? So probably 2-3 days ago, me and Blondie had gone to Silk City, and we was just there vibing, you know, chilling. And one of my homies had hit me up, and he like, "Where you at?" And I was like, "I'm at Silk City." And you know when somebody hit you up like, "Where you at?" and you tell them where you at, they usually ask more questions
Right.
before they show up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This particular person just showed up. You feel what I'm saying? Like, where you at, bro? And when he came, I told him, like, you know, and when he came to sit where we sat at, when he sat down, she had never met him before.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "I know who you are."
Oh yeah, I forgot he said that.
Yeah, he's like,
See, I just block it right. I forgot that even happened.
he's like, "I know who you are. I'm a fan." And she goes to say like my name, and he like, "I know your name, like, cause I'm a fan."
Nah, I feel that.
And she reacted like awkwardly. You see what I'm saying? Like that was the first time somebody had ever been a fan in real life.
Yeah.
But personally, I don't think I have fans yet. You know, I probably have supporters. If y'all don't know, I just beat Michael B. Jordan out on a poll for favorites on my story. I just want to let y'all know that. But what do you think? Like, what makes a person a fan to you? And I heard you say that like because they don't know yourself, or what makes you a fan of somebody? I feel like that's a better question.
All right, real quick though, I'm gonna answer that. But your story made me think of something that's crazy. It's probably one of the best stories ever. I know I gave y'all that homeless man story the last time I was here, which was really great. I'm telling you, I got some good stories. How am I? 29. When I was about like 23, I went out to Miami. My mom has a brother out there, so we go spend time out with him. But my brother also has some family out in like Hollywood, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Florida. So for my like 23rd birthday, I decided that I want to perform. So I ended up like reaching out to this cafe. I don't remember how I even got a hold of them, but I remember reaching out to this cafe and I was just like, "Hey, like I'm a poet from Philly. My birthday's coming up. I'm gonna be in Florida at the time. Can I come to one of y'all events?" So the person, the curator goes through my page, they see my work and they're like, "Bet, come through and we want you to perform, like represent for Philly." So I'm like, "Yo, perfect, awesome. I would love to." I get to the event and I got my family, my brother's family with me there. I perform my hip hop piece. I get off stage. This guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey," after we're leaving, we're about to get in the car to go like club somewhere. This guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, do you mind taking a picture with my girl? She follows you. We drove all the way from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale. I'm into Hollywood because she knew you was gonna be performing tonight." So I'm like, "What? Like that's insane." So I got pictures too. Y'all know I be trying to show y'all the receipts. Y'all know I be having the
Every
receipts.
time too.
So I go up to her and she's like, you would think that I was somebody. Like she was like, "Oh my goodness, like I'm just so excited. Like I love your poetry." And I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. I'm here for my birthday." And she's like, "Yeah, I know. Happy birthday." And I'm like, "Oh shit. Like, word, this is really, really cool." Yeah. She's like,
those moments are like, I don't know, they're weird. Like, you know so much about me.
yo, it was interesting because I'm also was like, I didn't post about my birthday yet. I mean, I might have been like my birthday coming. It doesn't even matter. I just was so grateful in the moment. I think the only time it really gets weird for me is when people kind of idolize me in a way that I don't like to idolize celebrities now, because I think that everybody's human. I think everybody has their faults. So sometimes when like people look at me and they're like, "How do you get by life so easy? And how do you do this? And how do you do that?" And I'm like, fam, first of all, it's not even like that. Like, don't let social media fool you. But that's another story. The difference between, you asked me what the difference between the fan and the supporters were.
And
I feel like,
my fault. But yeah, like, are you a fan of anybody? I should ask you that first. Do you feel like whatever your definition of fan, are you that to somebody else?
I am a fan. Big name, little name, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. I am a fan to, of course, I might catch heat for this with everything that's going on, but I'm loyal. I am a huge fan of Cole. Huge fan. I am a huge fan. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with a rapper in Philly, a writer, musician named Chemist.
I have heard of Chemist.
Huge fan of Chemist. I am a huge fan of, there's a young man by the name of Femdot. He is from Chicago. We went to Penn State together. He's doing like huge things across like the nation now. Huge fan of his. Outside of that, I don't think there's necessarily anybody that I support other people, but I don't necessarily think I'm a fan of a lot of people, no.
So what makes you a fan of these people? Like what's the distinction between just of a supporter and a fan to these people? You know every Cole song?
Do I know every Cole song? I'm not gonna lie, no, I don't. I think I've probably heard like 2 or 3 Cole songs that I don't like, but that doesn't negate the fact that, you know, I'm a fan and a supporter. Like even when he did the whole diss and then like deleted it, I was just like, yeah, dog, I feel that. Like I get why you did that. Like I completely understood it.
Because he's soft.
You said you want to fight? What you say? What you say? Already? Oh my goodness, that escalated real quickly.
Like, what you over there being messy for? My brain honestly like blocked that out. Like I can't even hear.
That's why. You feel me?
I talk like that. Like I had to.
This is expensive. I almost was
like I literally zoned. Like
it's crazy.
God must have knew that you was about to say something crazy. He like zoned me out for a second.
Yeah, that was insane.
No. I don't believe that. I don't believe Cole is. Actually, I believe he made the right decision. And as a man, I believe he made the harder decision. He made the decision to choose peace when he knew that violence or, you know, feeding into the negativity would probably bring him more dollars. So why do you
bring him more what?
More dollars. Like he would get more money. He would get like. I think so I'm a big Cole fan too.
I don't know, not with what you just said.
No. I'm a huge Cole fan. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
Ever since Friday Night Lights, back then. You know, that's high school days for me.
Yeah.
I've been following what he's been doing, and I feel like he always talks about how he aspires to be seen as the best rapper alive, or he calls himself the best rapper. You see what I'm saying? Like every time he's on a feature, he's braggadocious. Like, you know, I hopped on this to smoke you, you know, and I think he could see. Just like we all could see that if you took part in this battle and you come out on top, you could be that for real. Like undeniably, it would be no debate that you're the best rapper that ever lived. You see what I'm saying? Which I feel like is Kendrick's position right now, having, you know, come out on top of that situation. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's hard to turn down. And also Kendrick has the #1 charting song on the Billboard Hot 100s right now. Mm-hmm. And so I think as an artist, he knew both things were a possibility when he chose to choose peace, which is why I think that's yeah.
So do y'all think Cole and Kendrick could have kept it like family away and just kept it competitive, all bars, instead of it going to that next level that him and Drake took it to?
I personally do think that, because I think, well, first of all, when we look at Drake and then we look at Cole, generally, I don't think society has as much heat on Cole, especially in regards to like messing with women, younger women, any of that. Like Cole, we've never known Cole to be on that. So I don't think that you could even insert that into the beef, into the conversation. And the fortunate thing is, I'm not the biggest Aubrey fan. For
Aubrey, y'all.
For character,
Aubrey.
For character purposes.
Wait.
For character purposes, I'm not his biggest fan, but I would be lying if I said that everything that didn't come out this man's mouth wasn't a hit. Like everything he says just like a super fire. I also don't think that he has the capacity to even deal with somebody like Cole. Even if Cole was on some righteous, holier than thou, I want some peace, I still think that he would like obliterate Drake.
Talk about capacity, meaning bars. He's not taking it there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And even in what was it? Was it Family Matters? Family Matters was his, right?
That's the Drake record.
Even with that, as dope as I thought that was, it's just like there's a lot of words. there's so many more words and so many bigger words and so many more entendres and metaphors and similes that I think that Cole could have used. And like, it was good nonetheless for Drake, but I just, I think Cole and Kendrick could have kept it very lyrical, very brilliant, very intelligent, very fact driven. There wouldn't be no like drama, no sass, no none of that. So yeah.
No, I completely agree from that standpoint, and that's why I said like I also believe that's why Cole apologized and backed out is because he could see that it was about to be a little like some people call it like a tea party, you know, tea. It was a lot of tea in the joint, and that's who.
Tea like gossip?
Yeah, gossip.
That's weird.
Who calls it that?
Yeah, that's
I
crazy. I never heard that before.
Yeah.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Who said that?
That's what
Making stuff up. You just made that up.
No, that's what Questlove said that he didn't call it a tea party, but he called it like it was gossip on both sides, and that's what was fueling and that's why he said hip hop was dead because of how much gossip was driving the beef. You feel what I'm saying? Where I feel like Cole, he wasn't trying to get into that. Like what he wanted to get into was the bars, was the entendres, was the intellectual side of it more so than the the gossipy thing.
Yeah, I agree.
You see what I'm saying?
It's like
But
dirty laundry versus intellect.
even though I still think Kendrick gave you bars, I still believe that. I think that he wasn't trying to be a part of that, and I feel like he still understood that this battle, like by backing out of this battle, he would no longer be considered in the GOAT category. You feel what I'm saying? Like because he backed out, because he had a chance to be in, because Kendrick said his name or made a reference to him and like that, and didn't choose to be in, he wasn't going to be considered GOAT. Whoever won this battle was going to now be considered the top, and I feel like that's something that he wanted for himself.
I
given
just feel
by
like
his
when
lyrics.
if you know and truly feel inside that you're the GOAT and you're the greatest, there is no need to compete.
Amen.
Like, so that maybe that's why he bowed out. It's like I'm better than y'all anyway, so I ain't even about to prove nothing because I know that.
No.
I think it was both.
He kind of stuck his neck out there though. With like if he didn't, just
when he
say
did
anything-
7 minute
You
drill,
know how you do a little bit, and it's like, nah, I ain't even about to do all that.
Yeah,
but that's
he
corny.
did
That's
all
what
that, though.
that's
He
what make
definitely-
it corny though, because then it's like, you feel what I'm saying? You came to the scrimmage or you came to practice. You was at the practice, but where was you at for the game? When it's really time to go, you wasn't there. And I think that especially amongst men, like the head-to-head competition part of things, like if all you're going to do is talk, you're going to say you the best. When it's time to play the game and you don't put on your pads, I was a football player. If you don't strap up, then it's like, you
You don't
just
think
talking.
he maybe feel like his discography proves that he's the best
No.
over a period of time, not one final battle?
I think either Drake or Kendrick has the right to say that. Drake has the right to say that the most because he has the most hits. He has the most numbers. He has all that when it comes to discography. And Kendrick won a Pulitzer for freaking To Pimp a Butterfly. So it's like, you could feel like that, but if you're not willing to go to war for it, then it doesn't really track. But, you guys something to say? Okay, I was about to say. I was going to say to bring us back a little bit. I was saying that, like, what makes you, what defines you as a fan to the people that you feel like you're a fan of?
As opposed to a supporter, or just
As opposed to a supporter, or what would a fan of you feel like? Like you said, some people don't know none of your poems or couldn't recite a line. What makes us a fan to you, and what makes you a fan of others?
So to be completely honest, a lot of it is for mental health purposes, but a lot of it, I don't know what the other part is. I probably ask my therapist. But I don't necessarily indulge in or keep myself entertained or consumed with what other artists are doing, whether they be celebrity, underground, or anything like that. I have been known as a younger artist to have like a comparison complex in terms of like resources and what artist is able to access what and so forth. So I've always had a thing with that. And then on top of that, I've never wanted to put out art and somebody say, yo, you sound like this person, or that sounds like, or this looks like that. Like, I don't know. I always felt like that would break my heart, especially because I've loved art for so long. It's what I love to do. So when I think about the whole like fan supporter thing, so for me, I feel like so I say all that to say there's a lot of creatives in the city, in the nation, in the world that I support that I probably wouldn't make it to their show because I don't resonate with the work. And that's just me being authentic and being who I am and not wanting to show up out of like conformity or like acquiescence or anything like that. So yeah, so the difference would probably be just the ability to like resonate with work, consistency. So you know, I'm a fan. I'm a fan and a supporter of Cole. I guess the difference would be, and I'm not sure if you said it earlier, but I think the difference would probably be like, how much of me am I willing to like compensate for access to this person, or for them to continue seeing them.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. So wow. That actually sounded a little harsh now that I played it back a little bit. But so I guess it would be, so let's use Cole for an example because we're using him. So that would look like, so when he made that decision to like bow out of everything, I know that to me and my homies, I was like, nah, like this is why that was a good thing. This is why I support that, you know, but I'm also like, I'm a fan. Like I really appreciate what you do. I need you to keep going. Like I'm gonna support that. I'm gonna be loyal by that. And like whatever you're doing in this lifetime, it resonates with like my soul experience. And like I said earlier, I don't spend a lot of my time attempting to or just allowing myself to like kind of resonate with a lot of artists. So when that thing happens, it's kind of like, yo, fam, I feel you. But like so. And I'm using him in terms of like me being a fan and supporting. But let's say somebody that I'm just all right, let's use it differently. So somebody I'm just a fan of, I'd probably, I'm at your concerts. If you got merch out, I'm buying the merch. I know the lyrics to your songs. If I support you, I know what you're up to in life. And I'm applauding you from afar. When you need me, I'm there to show up, but I'm not necessarily looking for that content. I'm not necessarily looking for that energy. I'm not necessarily like, that doesn't necessarily resonate with me, but I really fuck with what you're doing and the authenticity. I'm like, what? Behind it. So I think that would be the difference in my case.
Okay. All right. So before we move on to the next question, you know, I gotta ask this, since you said you're a Cole fan. What's your top 3 Cole verses? Verses.
Jesus Christ!
I know that was like, crazy.
Because I feel like the reason why I say verses is because some of his feature verses I feel like is some of his best work.
What are yours?
I listen. His verse on Black. His
Pretty Little Things. Pretty Little.
Yeah, is masterful.
It is.
His verse with Benny the Butcher.
That is a good
masterful. His verse on the last one. All right, the last one is for sentimental reasons, and it's just because I grew up with it. But hit the whole song of Farewell, which was on Friday Night Lights.
A specific verse is we're gonna run that question back because it's not like you said song, you said verse. So now I'm thinking of like every Cole song, every verse, every feature he's ever been on. That wouldn't be my favorite. That would just be 3 random Cole verses. That's like
people need time to prepare these things. Like this is
that wasn't on the list, fam. That wasn't on the list.
It wasn't on the list. I'm gonna give you some time.
I think I would need a little bit more time, but I will say that I think even this year specifically, I have nonstop been listening to Love Yours. Like
Love Yours. Ooh, his verse on Summer Walker.
Consistently.
It's a great album.
Man, I'm not a Summer Walker girl. I love her. So that's a different thing. I support what she's doing. Not a fan.
Okay.
Not a fan because I don't resonate with her experiences or what she's singing. I think that's a very beautiful girl. I think what she's doing is cool. Her little, being eccentric and all that. I think that's super cool. But I don't follow her. If Summer Walker comes on the radio, I'm like, guys, can we change that? So
You turning her off?
yeah, it's not my vibe. It's not my.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
I'm blessed in Summer.
For real?
For sure. She's a vibe.
I feel like you gotta be like I'm not that I'm not a lover girl, but I just feel like you gotta
do.
be,
You do.
gotta be thinking about that
have to
stuff,
be at a
immersed in
certain
it.
point, yeah.
I'm
Nanda, you a
thinking
lover girl?
about these funds. I'm thinking
I'm asking.
about.
You said you got to be a lover girl. You blasting Summer Walker. I'm trying to see.
She looked like a lover girl.
Do I? What does that look like?
Like you look like when you leave here, you gonna be texting somebody on FaceTime. You
Is
look
that
like
true?
you look like somebody's gonna be waiting for you to be done.
Aw.
This.
Mm.
She said, "Oh no."
My dog, my cousin, my bestie.
I mean, that works.
That's who be checking for me.
Y'all heard that. You see what I'm saying? Y'all know what to do in them DMs. Anyway.
No.
All right. So to the
Wait, I want to share my favorite.
you
true,
you
you
got my
can.
fault, fam.
I had one too. I gotta remember the name of it because there's so many.
I got one. 03 Undolets when he talks about how
Adolescence.
I said it wrong.
You said go ahead.
Was that one of the newer ones?
No,
Like
that's
when
on
he-
Friday. That's on Forest
Hill
Hill
Drive.
What's it
Drive.
called?
03 Adolescence.
Oh, I said it wrong. My bad.
Oh.
Cut that out. No, but when he
I
talks
remember.
about how he invites his friend over, and he admires how how he's selling drugs, and his friend tells him like, "Yo, like, I would think you were stupid because you about to go to college, you about to go to St. John's, you about to go to live your life, and I'm gonna be stuck here, and I either gotta sell drugs or I either gotta work at McDonald's. So you should be grateful for what you have."
No,
And you know
that's
what's so
That's a
crazy?
great
What's the
verse.
joint he had
So
with
my
Missy?
follow up to what you gonna say?
What's the joint he had with Missy?
Missy Elliott?
Oh, that's on the first
I
joint.
don't remember.
No,
No, not workout.
it's not. I'm gonna find it.
It's on
Nobody's perfect.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Clearly, I got a thing. Nobody's perfect. Love yours. I got a thing about like really fucking with your life. That's, yeah. They trigger. They triggers. I'm sorry. What were you saying? About?
No, it's okay. It's so funny because my favorite song is "For Your Eyes Only" from the album "For Your Eyes Only," and that's the follow up to his song because it's the same friend. And in the song, he's sharing his friend's lyrics to his daughter that passed away because he was selling drugs and doing all of that. And I think that's one of my favorite Cole songs to listen to and just.
For Your
Hear and
Eyes
Feel.
is a great album
It is a
that
wonderful
doesn't
album.
get enough love. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like people don't.
Ville Mentality too. It's a great one. Those two, I think. Yeah.
Comprehension is a lack right now, and I think that has a
brother.
huge thing
Talk
to do
about
with
it.
it.
Who not comprehending?
Clearly, the people who don't see the projects for its value. I mean, and also the people who were like, "Yo," I keep bringing it up because we talked about it, but I think it was Euphoria, and people were like, "Yo, it's too much to think about.
I
like,
can't
it's
watch
too
that
deep.
show.
It's too,
She talking about the district.
the district."
What?
I've never seen that, John. I want to
Yo,
watch
did y'all
it,
know
too. That's
Drake?
crazy.
Drake produced Euphoria,
Yeah,
the
I
show
heard
though.
about that. I didn't know about it till the beef, but I
So,
heard about it.
yeah, that's a crazy little dig. He a freaky.
It's
ass.
giving Degrassi 2.0, so
69,
I'm literally
God.
not. When I learned that, I wasn't surprised.
I love
Yeah.
Degrassi though.
Euphoria
I
is like
loved
Degrassi.
Jimmy.
Was you a wheelchair Jimmy fan?
Sure.
No, I was not a Jimmy fan, but I love Degrassi.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
I was a wheelchair Jimmy.
and that's a lot of the reasons why I can't really resonate with him because like that whole like I started from the bottom, like fam.
Did you?
Some of us did. Like don't. That's not fair. Don't do that. Let's not play that game.
Why we here though? Can you? What's your opinions on the beef though? You are a wordsmith. You know, a person that really get into. Last time you talked to us about how you are a fan of battle rap as well. You know, what's your?
Yeah. I remembered. I didn't even show y'all the video. I was supposed to show y'all when I left. We were supposed to watch the battle rap video,
Oh,
and
we
we
was
didn't.
supposed to watch the battle. We
We
can
were.
cue that up for later.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Who do you have winning?
Who do I have winning?
Yeah,
I think it's over.
and who do you have winning?
I mean, unfortunately, Kendrick.
What you mean? Unfortunately,
Because
like
if I had it my way, Cole would still be in it.
right.
Cole wouldn't have dropped out. So okay, I love Kendrick's work. I'm not a huge fan. Like I don't look for. I never Google. I never
His
YouTube.
projects.
I never Apple Music. Never Spotify.
Kendrick?
His music. Never.
Yeah, never.
What?
Never. Ever.
Oh,
Ever. Ever.
No.
And I hear it. When I hear it, I'm like, wow, this guy is really brilliant. And then outside of that, it's like one and done for me. It's not because I don't like it. It's not. It's just always like, I just had to hear it one time. It's not something I would listen to again. Why would I play that again?
Yeah.
So,
Deep,
man.
yo. I didn't think it was gonna get this deep, yo.
Yeah.
This is great, but I'm not. Once I pass this class, I'm not reading this book again.
And also to keep it a being with you, like, and I don't want to say like, oh, like I'm from Philly and from the East, because a lot of people from Philly, from the East Coast, listen to Kendrick, but I don't feel like, okay, this is another thing. I sometimes get asked to do pro-Black pieces, Black History Month, and so forth and so forth. And as much as I don't mind, I always tell whomever's asking me, fam, I didn't grow up having that experience. And like, I take my writing so serious that I wouldn't make something up to perform. Like, I'm not about to do that. So when it comes to Kendrick, I think Kendrick has a lot of what it means to be a Black man, what it means to be a Black person, how powerful that is. And as much as I applaud that and stand by it and support it, I haven't had the same experiences that he talks about within his life, within the women's lives around him. A lot of just what he talks about, again, the words he's using, the structure of it, the cadence of it, all of it, I find brilliant, but I just don't resonate with it. And so whereas with Aubrey, I feel like his work is, everything he puts out, I feel like is a banger. I don't really resonate with it. I feel like I feel like it's always good, but I would never say that Drake was one of the best rappers of all time right now. I would probably say he's like he's I don't even want to say pop. That's crazy. I don't mean pop, but it's just he's like a mainstream worldly kind of, like made what everybody can. I don't see him as being like hip hop culture best lyricist, one of the best lyricists of all times. It's like, nah, you could get that shit jumping, but like I wouldn't put my money on you against Daylight.
Right.
Like, no, I wouldn't do that. So yeah, and I also feel like it's over at this point. What I say wrong?
The highest level of lyricism.
but could you see Kendrick going against Daylight?
Absolutely.
Exactly. You couldn't see
Absolutely.
Drake doing that. You couldn't see Drake doing that. You could
Today, yeah, but I mean, I think Drake's origin show he can kind of go with anybody. He went out with Kanye.
I think he could rap anything. I don't think he can hit home. Like when we listen to battle rap, when we go like ew, like oh my God, how'd you come up with that? I don't think we could do that with Drake.
I think he really can, because he really studies people.
Oh, you say Drake can?
Yeah, but not because he's lived the experience, but because he really studies things. Like if the only appropriator higher than him is Christopher Columbus. You know what I mean?
I didn't say
think
it. I didn't say that.
With that talent alone, with that skill alone, he could, if he practiced. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if he set his intention to make that happen, he would do it. Not because of his interest or because of like anything like that, but simply because he is petty enough to master a skill to beat somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I think that he has those qualities.
Yeah, and I would say I would definitely agree with you when it comes to the fact that Drake definitely has morphed himself into whatever he needed to be to fit whatever occasion, except for this beef. He didn't morph himself into whatever he needed to beat Kendrick. But if he had time and preparation, you feel what I'm saying? He's been a UK rapper. He's been a Memphis rapper. He's been a Atlanta rapper. He's been a hit maker on the pop charts. Like, he's definitely, and he's been a lyricist at times. He's been a real lyricist. So if given that challenge, I definitely think he has the ability. But where it might be a little bit more difficult is the fact that this is where Kendrick, this is where Daylight, this is where people like that live at. Like, they stay there.
So they also
Exactly.
study
I
him, too.
couldn't wait to disagree with y'all. Exactly. Exactly.
Would they be better? Yes, because just like Drake would be Aubrey would be studying, so would the others. But he would be able to keep up if he wanted to bad enough.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I'll say. Yeah. Word.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I think? That's how I look at it. Yeah, she said
Right.
she went straight to Columbus.
I meant colonizer. I said appropriator, but I mean, listen, it's all the same.
Yeah, colonizer.
Same thing.
That's what my man said.
I'm joking.
But go ahead.
All right, so this is how I look at it, right? Just to agree to disagree with y'all type shit. All right, so when I went to state, right, my minor was human development and family studies. So for me, I'm a writer, right? But let's say this is alternate universe, right? And I'm writing, and let's say that's my focus, human development and family studies. As per our last interview, y'all know that there's things that I've actually experienced and have been through, like in terms of family, environment, culture, the hood, so forth and so forth. If anybody walked in here right now from the burbs and said that I have a degree in human development and family studies, and I want to write a piece on it, and I want you and I to go toe to toe, I'd put my life on it. And this is not that I'm a better writer, but I think there's something about living in it and reading it and just talking about it and thinking about it and watching YouTube videos and documentaries and TikTok videos. I think it's such a different grind, hustle, hunger when you actually like live in it and survive in it, and like this is like my actual life. Thus why I feel like a lot of people are looking at Drake like, fam, you don't even live a lot of the stuff that you're even talking about, whereas like we know we know who Kendrick's dad is, like we know, you know. So yeah, even if I feel like I think Drake is really good at watching people and being super petty, and being able to utilize that to his advantage. And I still think that would be like, oh damn, like that's cool that he got that information, but like, are we really feeling you? Like, do we really believe you? Like, it's just so much more behind that for me. That I think personally.
Do you feel like though that, like, I guess the opposite side of that or another side to that is like, all right, Drake is not from any one place definitively.
Toronto.
Especially, I mean, I should say like culture. Like, you know, he's half white, half black. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that, like you said, that makes a difference, or he's speaking for people that might be, you know, half and half? You know what I'm saying? Who from two different cultures in a way that, you know, Kendrick can't do, which is why you would turn on Drake before you turn on Kendrick.
What hip hop song have you heard from Drake that he acknowledges, uplifts, and celebrates being a white Jewish man?
What we got? What we got?
Look what you've done.
What was that? So Far Gone before the mixtape one, like the mixtape one, not the studio album one.
Look what you've done. I think from Take Care is a little touchy, a little sentimental.
I feel like he's never definitely. I feel like he's never played up the fact that he's a white Jewish man as much as he's played up his. Because I feel like in order to be accepted in the hip hop a little bit, you have to play up the other.
Didn't he have a bar mitzvah in the Started from the Bottom video?
He had a bar mitzvah, but like that's
did.
not the same as in the lyrics. You feel what I'm saying?
So y'all gave me like what, 2 examples?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I guess that's cool. I guess the 2 out of all of the stuff that he came out with is valid. But I also think that I think we look at like the blackface, right? And then we look at the Freed the Slaves, the multiple occasions that we make the references about, so forth. And then I also just think about I think about when he first came out, and I forgot what song he was, but I remember Dennis came out and was just like, yo, the stuff that my son be saying about me as his father is not true. It's not real. And I remember that broke my heart because I'm like, yo, the shit I'm talking about my father is real. And like, we looking at you like you had the same experience, but you don't. And then on top of that, like, you start off, you live in like Toronto, with your Jewish mother, and none of these are bad things. I don't think that him having a Jewish mother growing, like, I don't think that makes you less of an artist, or you can't be creative, or you can't be the best because of those things. I don't believe that. But it's just like, don't say like you own these hoods, you from them, and you grew up in it, and you know how to, like, if anything, you just pay for all of that. You got enough money to do all of that, but like, that's not, we could Google you. Like, that's not your life story. And I think such a huge part of like my work has to do with like authenticity, and just like, I couldn't say that earlier. And
I had a new experience.
and I think just being like for real, just with everything. And yeah, I don't think Drake has it.
You don't think Drake has it? So, there we have it. The official word that Drake has lost this battle. You fought a valiant fight, my guy, but unfortunately,
I'm really a nobody though. I'm just a poet, so don't listen to me.
no, you're a lyricist for sure. A big lyricist. And on that same token, right, we was talking about support and fans and like that. And I want to ask both of y'all too, though. And I think this is a question for like all entrepreneurs. And I feel like everybody who is a creative or entrepreneur thinks this at some point. But like, what's your experience with like the people closest to you in terms of support, in terms of being fans of your work? Were you surprised? What was the experience like when you first got into it?
First getting into things, I think it depends on the project. So I'll say when I was first dabbling into hair and cosmetology and stuff, which I started hair at a very young age. I started doing hair when I was like 11. So all of my supporters were my family and my friends, because I was always trying to get in somebody's hair. Like, whatever somebody needed done, I would say I can do it, even if I never did it before, just off of the sheer belief in myself and the interest in just like watching somebody else do it. It's like, oh, you want a perm? Yeah, I could do it. I'd be like, what, you 11? You don't know how to do no perms? Yes, I do. I'd be like, I perm my mom hair all the time. And I did.
You're 11.
Yeah. 'Cause I just feel like it's the black girl experience. Certain things you just know how to do. Like if you have older sisters, aunts, cousins, etc. So with that being said, a lot of my supporters were my family and friends when I first started out doing hair. But as I've grown into a more like just individual person, as I've grown my identity, grew strength in my identity, I've noticed that more of my supporters and fans are strangers. And it's not that my family and friends don't support me, but sometimes I feel like fandom and support can rely in what it does for the person that is a fan or is supporting. So if you are, involved in a project that is not directly relating to a person's life, or, just relevant, then it kind of falls by the wayside, and it'll be like, oh yeah, my cousin does so-and-so, or oh yeah, my sister does so-and-so, you should check her out. But it's not like I'm number one at the shows and I'm front and center all the time, but it's like maybe I'll throw a repost, or maybe because it doesn't directly relate at that time. I've noticed that separation as I've gotten older and gotten into more niche crafts, niche, side projects and things. So, yeah.
Let's see how you feel.
It was like 50-50, kind of. I think when I was getting started and as a kid, the adults around me were excited that I was not doing the wrong thing. They were just happy that I wasn't out in the street. Like, they were just happy that I wasn't being a mess or just like disrespecting this person and just stealing and whatever. So I've always been in some sort of like extracurricular activity my entire life, after school, art programs, all of that. So I think my family was always supportive. The people closest to me were always supportive in that, like yeah, stay in school, like keep doing what you're doing, like yay. But I don't and I've had some family and like close family members, friends of family, come to shows and kind of support like on a really low scale. But it was never the whole like supportive parent thing, the whole supportive family thing wasn't really is not really a part of my story. And that's not to like negate or omit the things that like my parents and guardians did. It's just a matter of the fact that like even my mother, for example, her having been like born on an island and then coming here after a few years, and her idea of like motherhood and like what it means to like raise a kid is so completely different than like what it means today in this day and age in like America and so forth and so forth. So like with her, everything was just like hard body, tough. You don't cry, you work hard. Women are this, women are strong, and we persevere, and we this and we that. And it just was a lot more about that and a lot less about like the creativity aspect of it. I'll say, if anything, I had a lot of teachers. I think that every single teacher that I've ever had, I think, has been like the hugest, biggest kind of like, Ciara, you need to keep writing. And I remember being a kid like, oh, like you're supposed to say that to like all the kids who write good, like good job. But like, no, I mean, consistently year after year after year, it's just been like, I'm not sure if I mentioned it last time. I had my high school counselor had me sign my college like admission letter, and it's just things like that were just kind of like very supportive and so forth. So in terms of anything on like an interpersonal scale, I just think my family was a little too busy for it, and a little bit too occupied, and just like as long as you're not out there doing the wrong thing, then we're proud of you, and that's what that was.
What about now?
All right. Oh, man, this is deep. Okay. So now a lot of things have transpired with those same people. Dang, I just watched something or heard something. Did y'all see that interview Law Roach did about Zendaya on the carpet?
With the
about her?
Kids?
Yeah. And they were saying how Zendaya has never worn like one of the big brand names on the carpet, like Gucci and so forth. Like they don't want to give her any clothes. And Law was like, if it's a no now, it's a no forever. And I'm not petty, but I will say that I applied that to my situation with, I don't care who you are. Like when it's a no forever. So now the majority of those people don't have access to me or what it is that I'm doing. You're going to have to make a Finsta to see what I'm doing. You're going to have to ask somebody to ask somebody. So right now, it's still kind of like an afar thing. Like, oh, yeah, like I saw what you were doing through this person's page, or this person told me. Even when that video came out for the Women's History Month that we did for the NBA and TNT, I remember I didn't tell some of my folks about it. And I had no intention. And I remember them just reaching out to me. And they were like, hey, like the neighbor just came up to me. And they told me that they saw your thing. And then I was like, dang, like I didn't want you to even know about it. Dang, now you know. But I think the older I get, the more time I like cater and indulge into my art. I think the more I just nurture it, and I want to keep it close, and I want to keep it safe and protected, and I don't want anybody like touching my shit, talking shit about my shit, or none of that. Like I just let me just do what I'm doing.
Same.
Do you feel like that's because certain people had let you down in the past, or like what brought
Absolutely.
you?
Yeah, it's also a part of. That's also a thing. I do have some family members where I will be like, hey, I just did the thing and it's so amazing, and they're just like, yeah, that's what's
cool.
up, that's cool. Like, and it's just like,
Not giving that energy.
Yeah. So I do think that has a little bit to do with it, but if there's anything I had in this lifetime before anything, is like faith in like my inner world and like in my writing. Like that's had just always been with me. So it's neither here nor there at this point what anybody thinks about anything.
Okay. All right, so I think we're gonna do two more, and then we're gonna be finished with this one. So the one is, so we talked about like the one angle of it of people who fell short maybe, and you had to do what you had to do to protect your boundaries or protect your craft, right? You gave us one example of somebody who showed an exemplary level of support. Do you have any other stories of like a high level of support that you might have not been expecting, or that really just raised your spirits, or that helped you keep going? Inspiration.
From the strangers. From the strangers, I would say.
The video you showed us last time.
Which video? Not the homeless video. Not the homeless man video. That's crazy.
Strangers, I'm like, okay, like you was a stranger.
No. It's it's the stranger comments and like the stranger DMs I get right now. I maybe have a handful of people who have been like rocking with me since like the first time I ever performed, which was in 2009. And for them, I'm super appreciative. But even then, it's more just like I don't think anybody has like there's like if there was like a vortex. I don't think anybody has like penetrated that vortex besides the strangers. Like the strangers be knowing like they just hit me up. It'll be somebody from Italy or somebody from Africa or somebody from somewhere
I got fans all over the
I
world,
didn't know
yo.
existed.
Come on,
And they're
yo.
like, yo, I've been like looking for this page.
And
I'm like,
they'll say
yo,
the
that saved my
most
life. Or yo,
profound,
like I've been thinking about unaliving and I played this 10 times. And I'm like, yo, if God forbid something happened tomorrow, like that's amazing. It's absolutely incredible. So yeah, I mean, outside of that, I don't think there's any one person that I could say like, yo, day in, day out, forever. Like, don't be mad at me if somebody's watching this and they like just text me if I forgot who you are. But I don't think I did because and again, that has a lot to do with just like everybody living their own life and doing their own thing right now. I don't hold it against nobody. Like even me, I just got done saying like I'm not even checking for a lot of people, So I don't really think besides, Jesus himself.
So admirers, y'all know what y'all need to do. If y'all listening, hit them DMs. So
They're already there. No, they're already
fault.
there. They're already there. Let me
so-
respond first.
all right, so last one. Do you have a favorite piece or a favorite poem and why? What's the title? What's the meaning and why?
All right. I have 3.
Okay, do your thing.
The first one, not in order. These are not in like, bless you. These are not in like any particular order. The first one would probably be the Law of Attraction video that went viral. And that is so important to me because I wrote that during a woe is me phase. Like I was so angry at the world. I was so angry at God. I was so angry at the cards I was dealt. And I wrote that piece. And it's just so crazy because I wrote the piece and then I performed it 4 years later. And then a year after that, the piece went viral. And the fact that's the piece that 9.99 out of 10 people like DM me about is that particular piece. And it just means so much because it's like, y'all really thought that like I was the only one who's like, whenever I go through something, I often feel like it's only me. Like, and I don't want to like talk about it because you might get it, but your circumstances are so different than like whatever. But that one hits really hard because I didn't realize how many people felt what I felt. I have another piece. It's never been released. It's just sitting on my phone. I'm not sure how I'm going to put it out into the world. It's probably my most vulnerable piece about like just like my childhood and kind of how I see my parents. It's called House Fire. And it pretty much is just a metaphor of like everything just being burnt up, set on fire kind of around me. And I love that piece. It's very short also, but it's just very, it's like very right at you and very, very personal. And then the last piece is probably, I'm really excited about this. I recently have been on a not dumbing it down spree. And I have a piece coming out shortly about that. I really, really enjoy writing. And I know a lot of people see me as a poet. I don't consider myself a poet. I consider myself a writer and a performer. But I started out writing fiction stories. In high school, I really, really loved doing research. I loved writing essays on like specific topics. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but on my website, I do run a blog that's called See Uncensored, where I kind of like talk how I want to talk, despite like grammar, pronunciation, so forth, so forth. But I ultimately, how do I want to put this? I don't even know how to articulate it. I feel like the music is a little bit distracting. I'm not gonna lie. The beat is a little good.
You wanna go ahead, freestyle.
No, don't do that. I feel like I don't know. I've been on this spree of just kind of allowing myself to write, not out of like fear. I feel like typically when I write, I have this fear of like how people are gonna perceive it and what kind of group is gonna take it in or not. And now I'm just like, nah, like I'm not. Sometimes I also get afraid that like I'm gonna say something and it's gonna like go over people's heads and they're just gonna be like, oh, like it sounds good, like how they did with the Euphoria, like a lot of Kendrick's work, where they're just like, oh, like ain't nobody trying to hear that smart shit, you know. But no, so I have recently begun doing some pieces that are like super intellectual, and one of them is called Liar Liar, and that's probably gonna be my third piece that I'm gonna say is my favorite, and it's my favorite because it's pretty much an ode to like just people faking the funk, you know? And yeah, it's probably one of my smarter pieces.
Damn, I'm excited now. You see what I'm saying? I would be checking.
Yeah, I
I'm a
hope
fan.
so.
You see what I'm saying?
Thank you.
A fan. But before we get out of here, can you tell the people where they can find you?
Yes.
You know?
Yes, what camera I'm looking at? It don't matter?
What camera? That one?
It don't. Oh, I was about to say they both got me a couple of times anyway. So Ciara Chantelle, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. What other platforms?
Twitter.
Yo, you can even. Ooh, don't look for me on Twitter.
Oh.
Don't. Do not look for me there. All the other ones, yes, Ciara Chantelle. You can also hit my website, www.ciarachantelle.com. And yeah, that's pretty much Ciara Chantelle everywhere. You know,
Well,
run the name out.
we would really like to thank you once
Oh,
again.
thank you.
For not coming once, but twice. You see what I'm saying? And I think I can't say enough how much of a fan or like when I watched the whole 30-minute video, then I watched all the rest of the videos.
Did you really?
I'm not lying. I'm like myself. I'm a poet. Like I'll be writing sometimes. I enjoy.
Give me 5 seconds of something right now.
Give you 5 seconds or something
Of poetry.
of poetry.
Yes.
Um,
I'm very picky. Go ahead.
Damn, 5 seconds. Can I?
No, you can't.
I can't look.
No, we don't got that much time.
Okay, like
At the top of the dome, let's go, poet.
I don't think I have
Didn't you work with Jasmine Sullivan? Didn't you say that earlier?
as an engineer.
Ain't your friend a Kappa? Come on, what are you doing?
What? Those two things don't have anything. Damn, I really can't. I really.
Wow. Anything. Come on.
I can't glance at my phone. I gotta look, and then I can give you 5 seconds or something.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that I only memorized like 2 of these jokes.
It better be great. And you can't do the whole thing though. You gotta only a couple, and you gotta cut it at a banger. Like if you cut it and we like that's it, that's bad. You gotta cut it and we be like, damn, that was good.
yeah.
All right. What I said. Damn, now is this pressure?
Go ahead, you could do it. Go ahead.
All right, I got it.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's what I said. I believe it's not too many things blacker, meaning it's not too many things bolder. And I feel like crowns are made where souls are made. Look up above your shoulders. Through jungles of frustration, split ends, tangled desperations, calls for help that no one heard, the ones that sound like suffocation.
Okay, that was really good. I ain't like how you ended it, but that was actually pretty amazing. That was yeah. No, that was a good one.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see you. I take it back. I take everything I said back.
That's
You got a
crazy.
headache?
Nobody
That
ever,
was a lot for him. That was a lot.
nobody
for him.
ever asked me to.
That
to-
was he
to
didn't
re-
have that schedule.
I did. I'm prepared for
It's
things.
a lot.
You got him a little short circuit.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I got reps too, but I don't
Head
got,
hurt.
they're not on the top of my head anyway. Damn, now that I only have 2 memorized, and that's one of the.
That's okay though. That was great.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Can you be my poem coach?
What would that consist of?
Who? That's given. Who all gonna be there?
What you mean? What you talking about?
Like you see what I'm saying? I'm gonna recite some things. You gonna critique them, make them come back better. You see what I'm saying? After.
I could do that for performances, but as per your writing, I think your writing is your writing for a reason. But if you want to learn how to get on stage,
Like if you ask, that's
Looking for a ghostwriter. It's like that.
you know, you got that. You got that bag.
Okay.
damn, that was really unexpected. But yeah, like I said, this has been the Winners Culture. Follow us on everything at the Winners Culture on Instagram, on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on everything, on Twitter. Don't forget Twitter too. And follow the Studio 524 Philly. We appreciate y'all and see y'all next time.
One.
Voice of the hopeless, control the game like the coaches. Stay dropping gems, we the winners, culture, you know this. Never coasting, always elevating, staying focused. When it's all said and done, we the winners, culture, yeah. We winners, culture.